Back in September, your commissioner set a goal to make this season the best season yet in Champs Over Chumps short history. And after 17 weeks of head-to-head competition, only a pessimist could say that goal was not achieved. The 2022 season was one for the ages, a season filled with drama and storylines. A season that can only be described as historical in regards to Champs Over Chumps lore. It started with 12 teams and 12 keepers, all with the expectation that this year is my year. But just like every other year, the season always ends with 1 champ and 11 chumps. Now, regardless of which of those titles you ended up as this season, each and every squad played a major part in making Champs Over Chumps 2022 a season to be remembered. Let's talk about what turned out to be the lower echelon of our league. M. Brown rostered the most players from one squad that we've ever seen. Unfortunately, Green Bay had a down season this year, so M. Brown's record reflected much of the same. With that being said, M. Brown completed his second Champs Over Chumps campaign in familiar territory, last place for the second consecutive season. He also breaks into the record books with the worst regular season record of all time. Hold your head up, Mark, because they say the third time's a charm. And next year could be your year. Johnson & Johnson never quite seemed to focus on the game, losing motivation early on in the season. What started out to be a strong follow-up from last year's performance turned out to be a disaster of a season, making the GM of this squad want to slap somebody. Johnson & Johnson also makes an appearance in the record books, finishing his 2022 campaign just ahead of M. Brown, with the second worst regular season record we've ever seen. Pimpin' ain't easy, but pimpin' don't stop either. Ain't that right, Pimpin' Ken? Cause next year could be your year. King Ryan came into this season wearing a crown, preparing his spot in Champs Over Chumps royalty by finally claiming the throne. However, being a king, no pun intended, means winning the war. And early season injuries turned out to be an opponent King Ryan couldn't overcome. He intended on serving hot L's to the rest of the league, but unfortunately, those plates were mostly left uneaten. And although no records were broken by this GM, a 4-10 record definitely wasn't on the menu. Long live the king, Ryan, because next year could be your year. Texas True Herd started this season on a stampede, making move after move, followed by another move, leading to another move. Some would say all those moves made caused him to move his way right out of the playoff picture. Yet others would say that those moves made were the reason he almost got over the hump. Who knows the true answer to that question? But down in Texas, beef is what's for dinner. So needless to say, Texas True Herd got ate up. However, make sure them herd is ready for 2023, Lil Jared, because next year could be your year. A1 Elite turned into A1 Can't Compete right before our eyes, and it definitely was sad to see. Employing the usual strategy, the timely trades that normally put this squad towards the top of the standings by season's end, this time led A1 Elite to defeat after defeat after defeat after defeat. No records were broken by this squad in 2022, but A1 Elite finished with a losing record and missed the playoffs for the first time ever in Champs Over Chumps history.
What?
But don't change the name yet, A-Town, because next year could be your year. Exotic Medical came into 2022 with the loudest of the loud, on the highest of the clouds. But unfortunately, playing in a stacked division led to his demise. And by the end of the season, the GM of this squad was left wondering if what was once considered loud is now simply considered Reggie. All is well that ends well, and Exotic Medical season ended with a successful victory in the consolation bracket, earning him the $100 consolation prize. And although that prize doesn't compare to the championship prize, AK, next year could be your year. As we get into the middle class finishers, You Beat This Gang Gang got off to a rocky start, and any opponent he faced early on automatically chalked that week up as a victory. However, not all gangsters die young, and before it was said and done, Gang Gang went on a winning streak, taking over his division's territory and represented Any Given Sunday in this year's playoffs. Of course, that ride was short-lived, and the first round defeat led to him watching the championship game with the rest of the chumps. However, You Beat This Gang Gang became the first team to go from last place to first place in his respective division in the same season. So for that simple fact, Caleb, next year could be your year. D Yella for the win instead came up with the loss in the second round of the playoffs, which is to be respected for a squad whose GM auto-drafted the majority of the roster and only made 6 moves for the entire season. Regardless of your opinion on that topic, D Yella for the win proved to be an underrated GM, making his way into the record books by putting up 169.92 points in Week 4, the most points scored in a single game in Champs Over Chumps history. And for that reason alone, D Yella next year could be your year. Bro the Great season ended on a not so great note. However, I'm sure the GM of this squad felt good about his overall performance. Although many of us questioned his double tight end triple OG draft strategy, and completing a trade with this GM was nearly impossible, Bro the Great displayed an ability to hang with the big dogs, and all 3 teams that finished ahead of him in the final standings, he found a way to knock them off at one point during the regular season. I look forward to seeing how great your potential really is, Greg, because next year could be your year. Finally, we get to the upper echelon of our league, aka the winner's circle. Gutar stepped into Champs Over Chumps like a veteran, claiming his spot in the upper echelon from start to finish. However, someone should have told him that on this planet, it ain't how you start the season, it's how you end it. And unfortunately, he ran into the defending champ at the wrong place and the wrong time. Nevertheless, with the $150 cash prize in hand, Gutar earned respect across the league throughout his first campaign this season. We for sure won't overlook you in 2023, LaBelle, because next year could be your year. 31 Below staked his claim as the most dominant team in our league this year. The GM of the year navigated injuries to high-profile players and untimely bye weeks, all at the same time of leading the most competitive division in Champs Over Chumps. True enough, 31 Below didn't walk away with the chip, but he did walk away with a $200 cash prize for making his second appearance in a championship game. And he did hop into the record books with the most regular season victories in one season of all time. A heck of a season we just witnessed from you, Dre. And next year could be your year. And then there was one. And All Madden Legacy once again proved that he's the one. Not only is he the only one to win multiple championships in Champs Over Chumps, not only is he the only one to win back-to-back championships in Champs Over Chumps, not only is he the only one to win 3 out of 5 championships in Champs Over Chumps, CJ Legacy's the one that won the ring and then changed his name, proclaimed his fame as All Madden Legacy, came back and did the same dang thing. He's the one that some claim to be the GOAT in this thing. He's the definition of what it means to stay at the top of your game. Congratulations to the Champs Over Chumps 2022 champ, taking home a Champs OC celebration towel, a Champs OC glow-in-the-dark tumbler, a complimentary air fryer from the commissioner, and $850 cash money. Let's finish this season off in agreement that Kurt, next year, better not be your year. 2023 will be everyone's next opportunity to take over the league. And if you start your offseason preparation now, it could very well be you. Next year could be your year. Shout out to all the GMs that make up Champs Over Chumps, because without you, there'd be no us. Be on the lookout for the updates and changes to be made for next year's competition. Until then, this your commissioner, man, signing off for the last time in the 2022 season.